What is happening? What is good with everybody out there watching live? We are live here tonight from the lab. It's your boy Maurice Proffit, and this is the 23rd hour, and we are coming off the heels of another astounding pay-per-view known as Bound for Glory. As many of you know, this is the 23rd hour, and this is our third episode of the 23rd hour where we do an immediate recap, an immediate reaction, and an immediate review after a major pay-per-view. So far, we've done AEW Wrestle Dream, we did WWE Fastlane, and tonight we are bringing to you Bound for Glory. As a lot of wrestling fans know, that Bound for Glory is Impact Wrestling's biggest pay-per-view of the year. You call this this their WrestleMania. This is their most marquee pay-per-view of the year with their biggest championship matchups. We're just gonna go ahead and go straight into talking about the elephant in the bathroom right now. And that is the big announcement that was made at the very end of the pay-per-view, which I was in attendance of tonight at the Cicero Stadium in Chicago, Illinois. We're going to talk about what's the biggest news and most shocking news that's coming out of this pay-per-view tonight. And that is, it is Impact Wrestling no more. They're going back to being called and being known as the brand of TNA Wrestling. And that, ladies and gentlemen, biggest shocking news that we got tonight. It threw everyone in a loop. It was really great getting that announcement because we don't really get a lot of announcements that are completely fresh, that are untouched, that did not go through the rumor mill at first. That this really did come out of left field, and it's the one area in life where you want to be fooled, where you want to be made feel like Boo the Fool. And I'm gonna tell you why. Tonight, let's just let's talk about it. Let's talk about what really matters, and that's what we're talking about right now in terms of this brand changing of going back to TNA Wrestling. Going into tonight, lots of the temperature that was kind of circling around the wrestling community was people saying that CM Punk was going to make his Impact debut. There was a news that came out I think yesterday or so about Ace Steel, CM Punk's real life best friend, getting a job recently with Impact Wrestling, and his first day was going to be tonight actually. KC Omega, no Meltzer. Hey man, it's out there already, bro. So you already know when it comes to rules of pro wrestling, especially live wrestling, when it happens on television, it's fair game now. So, so that was so a lot of people were kind of hitching on to the fact that Ace Steel signed with Impact Wrestling. I think as an agent or whatever may have you. People were saying, well, that makes a lot of sense. It makes even more inroads for CM Punk to now become part of the Impact roster. When I was there in the attendance, there were I counted 3 people in my section alone that had on CM Punk hoodies. Now I'm not gonna. So of course that's what I'm saying. The word was kind of out there. It was really in terms of the temperature check, people were really thinking that this was really going to happen. Now here's the thing: is that I was not against this at all in terms of if this would be the direction they go. Reason being was that when the rumors were kind of coming about when it came to CM Punk going to WWE, personally, I explained this in the Mid-Card Mess, one of our wrestling groups. I explained that I didn't think it was a good idea because the culture of WWE is a lot different than any other culture in wrestling. And CM Punk, if he is problematic in the AEW locker room, it's a good chance he could be as problematic or even worse in the WWE locker room, because this is much more of a corporate machine that's being ran. You know what I mean? This isn't a wrestling promotion. This really is a damn near a conglomerate. It's a juggernaut that's ran by a lot of corporate heads. And I didn't think that he would be able to fit into that culture. So I was very verbal about he should just go to Impact. If Impact could afford someone like him, if they could afford him, then why not? You know what I mean? In terms of this is a wrestling locker room. This is a locker room with a lot of respected talent as well too. A locker room where BS won't really be taken. No one really will be a bully. be bullied, excuse me, and he would have to bring a sense of locker room leadership. It'll put him in that position to be more of a locker room leader than anything else. So I was for it, in terms of this could be a good fit. Now, fast forward to today, where we are right now, and I understand hindsight is 2020. I get that, but I really do like, and I think it really did work in their favor as well, that the rumors, the feelers that was out there, the word on the street that was out there was going to be CM Punk coming to Impact. And this alleviated any opportunity or any chance that was out there of anyone getting a sniff or anyone getting kind of an indication or any type of clue or just even a sliver of a thought that TNA Wrestling will be making the comeback as a brand. And because we didn't have that indicator out there to even have that even be a seed in our minds, it was really great to be swerved tonight. It really was. The main event of tonight was for the Impact Wrestling World Championship, and that was Alex Shelley defending the Impact World Championship against challenger Josh Alexander. And in the match, I'm just kind of going to be just talking off cuff. I'm not really going to be going in order the way I did last time, so we're just going to be kind of talking like family. But in a really great match, in a really solid match. It was a really solid match. Alex Shelley, he defended and he retained the Impact World Championship. Actually made submit Josh Alexander. It was a really it was a moment for real. And so he got the victory over Josh Alexander. It was like I said, it was a really great match. And that's the thing that with Josh Alexander, he's so like when you look at him, he looks like a solid motherfucker, man. And when you hear them chops that he be throwing, I mean, it matches for real. So after the match, they shook hands in the ring. They showed each other love. You know what I mean? Josh Alexander was letting him know, you are I completely respect you. The better man won. All that good sportsman-like shit, right? Lights went out. Video was playing on the video wall, and I noticed that Shelley and Alexander were still in the ring. So a video was playing of like a forest or whatever may have you. And so I think that's when people were kind of okay, is it CM Punk's debut? And I was like, if that is, how do you equate the forest with what they're going to show? And they were splicing in a lot of imagery from all the entire Impact roster, excuse me. And then they showed a video of them you see Josh Alexander, you saw the Motor City Machine Guns, you saw Eric Young, Jordan Grace, and some other Impact wrestlers, Kazarian, some other Impact wrestlers as well, and they were all kind of at this it looked like a burial site within the forest, and they were burying a box, and they were saying that we're gonna bury this, yet we're going to resurrect this, and then you see Total Nonstop Action logo come across the screen. Everybody goes bananas in there. Everybody went completely apeshit in there. This truly was the biggest pop of the night, was the announcement of TNA Wrestling coming back. And I think it's really great timing as well too when you think about it. This is coming off the heels of the announcement that was made, or the news that broke either yesterday or the day before, in regards to NWA getting the TV deal with CW. So NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, they are going to be they're going to be showing their weekly show Power, which is exclusively on YouTube, but now they're going to be on national television on the CW network. I didn't even know the CW was even still around. I was like, CW still around? The channel that gave us Moesha and Girlfriends and you know what I'm saying? I was like, and Monique, you know what I mean? I'm like, damn, I didn't know CW was still else, sister. So, but no shade to that though, because that's obviously that is a really great feat. So, shout outs to NWA for being able to land that deal. I think that's really fantastic. And I think it's gonna be really great to be able to see this show on a television network on a weekly basis and be able to follow Power thoroughly. So with that news coming about and being put out there, Impact, I felt it was a really great time to pull that trigger as well too, of rebranding itself to TNA, because I think what it's going to do is going to really help a lot when it comes to helping them get a better TV deal. Now, Impact Wrestling has been home to Access TV for quite some time. I'm just making an assumption here, so don't kill me with if I'm wrong. But I'm assuming that Impact Wrestling probably does the best numbers on that channel, because like anything else that comes on that channel, if you have Access TV, they just show a lot of 30-minute, 60-minute like music documentaries on like the Rolling Stones or or the Temptations or something like that. You know what I mean? Or like 50 the best rock bands, in the world or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they do like a lot of shows like that, which obviously has a music audience. But I feel like their Thursday nights, their wrestling block between Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling that comes on after it, I'm pretty sure that gets some good numbers. You know what I mean? So with them being rebranded to TNA, I think that helps them if they want to get maybe like renegotiate the contract with Access TV, maybe get like a bump in pay or whatever may have you, or like they can increase their price, because the TNA brand itself, I'm sure the logistics that TNA has in terms of like the logistics that comes behind that name, what the brand did in terms of generating the revenue it did, the ratings that it did, the viewership that it did. I'm sure that history could help a lot when it comes to the executives of Impact / TNA going to the table with Access TV, or if it's not Access TV, possibly another station, another platform, another channel, another network. Let's be honest, pro wrestling is very hot right now. It's like nuclear right now. You see WWE, they break records every week. Every time they go to a house, I mean, even like house show records, they're breaking records every week, whether it be a house show, whether it be a pay-per-view, whether it be, even like, the major events, like, like your WrestleManias, your SummerSlams and all good stuff and everything. They really are making some like really gigantic waves. That's WWE for you. Of course they're going to make gigantic waves. They're an unbreakable machine, so of course they're going to do what they're going to do. AEW, same as well with them as well too. Like they're doing really great stuff when it comes to like their numbers on Wednesday nights, and obviously Warner Brothers, they're very happy with what AEW is producing. Where there are talks, and there's rumors out there about AEW actually being able to have the streaming rights to put their content on HBO Max. So obviously they're doing something that's really great, where the higher ups are very happy with what they're seeing. So, and now like the news with NWA. So yeah, absolutely. TNA has room at the table to be kind of like part of the conversation. And I think, and what this does too, what I think will be great, is that you do the rebrand, with the name itself, right? Brand recognition is a very important thing. You do the rebrand, and then you're able to bring that to different networks, right? Bring it to different networks, or you renegotiate with Access, or go like I said, go to a different network that has deeper pockets, get more money, sign bigger stars. You know what I mean? Seriously, it's simple as that. And so this really does free up a lot of room to be able to bring in your names, like maybe not particularly CM Punk, but a CM Punk like a name that can be on that level. It could be on a level where they can like work with AEW. I mean, not work with AEW, but in terms of like people leaving AEW, they don't. WWE may not be, doesn't have to be the only choice that you had to make when it comes to making good money. So if AEW has like some deeper pockets with a better network, then TNA, then we can see wrestlers leaving AEW go into TNA, wrestlers leaving WWE go into TNA. You know what I mean? Like it really does work itself very well, and it does nourish the ecosystem of pro wrestling exceptionally well. So it's going to be very exciting to see what's going to happen. Like I'm very excited. I went crazy when they announced that it was going back to being known as Total Nonstop Action. Even the first pay-per-view of 2024 is going to be Hard to Kill on January the 13th. And they already had the poster showing that TNA Wrestling presents Hard to Kill. So just seeing that alone really brought some joy to my heart. Now, what's also very interesting is that when you look at I know that the news is very fresh. So the news is very fresh. Everyone is very happy. wrestling fans are very excited about this because it's very fresh news. But let's not act like the past doesn't exist, because I remember a time when TNA was rock and rolling heavy and they were going really hard in the paint, and they had guys like RVD, they had guys like Scott Hall, they had guys like Christian Cage, they had Booker T, they had Mick Foley, they had Ric Flair, you know what I'm saying? They had Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. So like when they had like these big names that were over there, these big ex-WWE names that were over there, let's not act like that the IWC wasn't dragging TNA through the mud, you know what I'm saying? And they really were dragging TNA through the mud, and it was damn near like, we want to see this company fail, and we were ready for this company to fail. And that's one reason why I'm very glad to see that that they still are around, because when you think about every year when they are around, it's just another middle finger to the people who dialed them in the first place back in the day. So I really hope that the brand change doesn't bring any kind of spoils in terms of like bringing up old memories or equating TNA to all these just low rent WWE. No, because now you're bringing back the brand, the recognizable brand name that stands itself out from anyone else. That was one thing I liked about the name TNA. There wasn't a W in there. It was like one of the first times a wrestling promotion didn't really have a W in their name. You always saw a W in WCW, WWF, WWE, ECW, AEW. You know what I mean? Like, you see the W always in the name, brand, acronym, whatever you want to call it. TNA stood out because it was like, wait, what is this? It's wrestling with that name? Where's the W at? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, it really, so you have this recognizable name that stands itself out, and couple that with the best wrestling that you're going to see of the week of wrestling. You're going to see the best wrestling on Impact Wrestling all the time. And that's one thing that I really do respect about it, because when you turn on Impact, when you turn on TNA, you are going to get some solid matches. And tonight we got nothing but some really great matches. Let's go into it really quick. I'm not going to be that long with you guys because I know it's late. This is the 23rd hour. Actually, it's the 23rd hour. So I got there a little bit late tonight, so I missed the dark match. The dark match, from what I understand, it was MK Ultra, and they faced Tasha Steelz and Deonna Purrazzo. I love me some Deonna Purrazzo, but I love MK Ultra too as well. It's like their entrance is so damn cold. So I'm mad as hell I missed them, but I'm going back tomorrow for the fallout from Bound for Glory that they're taping for Impact. So I'm gonna go check it out and see what they're gonna do. But the Impact Tag Team Champions, the Impact Knockout Tag Team Champions, MK Ultra, they defeated Steelz and Purrazzo, and they retained their belts. So I got there right when they were starting the Hall of Fame induction, and they started off with Tracy Brooks. Tracy gave a really great speech. Kazarian obviously was front row with showing support. Their son Rebel was there as well too. Gail Kim did the induction of Tracy Brooks. They told a couple of some funny stories. Scott D'Amore was there. Melissa Machine Guns, Jordan Grace, Eric Young. They were all there to show love to Tracy Brooks. So it was really dope. It was really cool. After that, then Don West and Mike Tenay, they entered into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame as well too. Mike Tenay came out. It was really great seeing Mike Tenay. It hit me like, damn, like I haven't seen Mike Tenay in a minute, man. Like, it didn't really hit me until I saw him. Like he came out. Obviously, like, the man's been, the man's Asian, obviously. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what happens in life. Growth happens. So, like, looks, somewhat considerably older. His voice still solid as rock, still like, very distinctive. He got that Mike Tenay pop, when he speaks. So he accepted the award, accepted the honor on behalf of Don West as well too. So he told some stories about him and Don West together, on the road and all that good stuff and everything, and told some funny stories about Don West. Man, I'm telling, like, let me go real quick, man. Like when Don West passed away, I believe on New Year's Eve of this year, or 2022. man, that loss just sucked, man. Like, not Don West, man. Like, the voice of TNA wrestling, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, man. So when Don West passed away, man, that really did hurt bad, you know. So when they announced that they're inducting Don West and Mike Tenay into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame, that felt good, man. That felt really good. And just seeing Mike Tenay up there talking about Don West, talking about some good stories, talking about his and Mike Tenay's own personal journey with wrestling as well too. Told a couple of Bobby Heenan stories when they were working together. Oh my God, it was just great, man. Like, it just really made you appreciate, like, you know, where we came from in terms of, like, you know, just old school wrestling commentators, the WCW Nitro days, the early TNA days. It just really made you appreciate all that stuff. Like, I really want to like watch like some old like Mike Tenay and Bobby Heenan stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, Carissa? The show was awesome. I'm talking about it right now. We already talked about TNA. I might touch on it a little bit in a little while after this. And yes, you won the trophy. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But absolutely. So yes, the Hall of Fame, needless to say, was really good. It was a really good, heartfelt, you know, just moment hearing all those stories and just seeing it happen. It was really good. The pay-per-view started off with the X Division Championship. It was Chris Sabin against Kenta. And awesome match, really good match. It was exactly like what you would thought it would be in terms of like, you know, Chris Sabin and Kenta and going back and forth. You didn't have any type of idea in terms of like, you know, who might be the victor. We saw some really great spots in that match. Kenta looked really amazing. Like, it's just really like something like when you see someone wrestle without the shackles on them, they can go beyond. You know what I mean? Like for real, they can go absolutely beyond. So Chris Sabin, he retained the championship. It was for the Impact Wrestling Impact Knockout. Jesus Christ, I'm going through like every title. The X Division Championship. Chris Sabin, you know, he pinned Kenta. I saw that Danhausen was in town. I actually passed Pro Wrestling Tees last night, and I saw like that they were open. I'm like, why are they so open? I'm like, oh yeah, Danhausen was here. Yeah. They're at Pro Wrestling Tees, but yeah, that's wild though. The next match was a Monsters Ball match. This was a match that was with Rhino, Steve Macklin, Moose, and PCO. It was brutal in terms of like the hardcoreness. We saw people going. We saw Steve Macklin. He went through a ladder. We saw Moose. You know, he went through a table as well. We saw Rhino give us, you know, give the gore. We saw PCO. He took a lot of shit. Simple yet effective. We all know, like in terms of wrestling fans, we know what PCO is Jean-Pierre Lafitte, you know, from the Quebecers and from the French Canadians. And it was just really cool seeing PCO do the second rope leg drop. Like, I know he like that's kind of like part of his repertoire, like when he does like in-ring moves, but it was cool seeing the person just because like I'm like, oh my God, it takes me back to like watching him do it as a Quebecer back in the day, back in like 93 and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm an old head, so whenever I see any type of like glimpses or any type of like little like instances of the old school, I'm gonna be a happy man. So needless to say, I was a very happy man seeing that. PCO won the match. It was brutal. It was, like I said, thumbtacks, chairs, ladders, tables, a table full of barbed wire. And Steve Macklin went through that table full of barbed wire, split his back open. It looked nuts. It looked crazy. Seriously, all the blood and everything. But they all gave it their all and everything like that. It was a damn good match. PCO won by pinfall in that match. Really good stuff. The next match was for the World Tag Team Championships. This is the Rascals, and they were defending the championships against ABC. We're talking about the Ace Austin and Chris Bay Club. This is a really great tag match. You know, like it's told a really good story in terms of like you know ABC, they lost the belts to the Rascals, and the Rascals have been kind of like just kind of shitting all over those belts, really disrespecting them, really not showing them any kind of like love that they deserve. And ABC really felt that they deserved it back. And that's what we got. We got to see the championships go back to its rightful owners, ABC, as they defeated the Rascals and they became the new Impact World Tag Team Champions. Now, the match that I was waiting for. This was the match where it was like, this alone worth the price of admission right here. This match what I'm about to talk about. Mike Bailey against Will Ospreay. I am a huge Will Ospreay fan. I fuck with him heavy. Now I'm not like, I haven't been following him for years. I can definitely admit that. But I saw him for the first time last April when New Japan came to Chicago for one of their shows, and Will Ospreay was on the card. I think he wrestled John Moxley actually, and blew. And I always heard about Will Ospreay. Like I heard about him. I would see clips about him. I'm like, damn, that was a crazy move. But I never really watched a full match of his until that night, and he won me over as a fan. And ever since then, I've been like, super hardcore when it comes to following Will Ospreay and messing with him heavy. And they delivered not only the match of the night, possibly, but definitely a candidate for match of the year. This match was absolutely incredible. It went in every direction that you can actually think of. You did not know what was going to happen next, And I'm going to admit it. I'm not going to shy away from it. When they first announced that it was going to be Mike Bailey, I was a little salty. I'm not going to lie. I was a little salty. I think because this is just me being on some bullshit. I didn't see Mike Bailey wrestle so many times that I'm just like, all right, man, like, I'm not going to see anything I've never seen already from you before. And I'm like, how come Will Ospreay can't wrestle goddamn Alex Shelley? You know what I mean? Like, how come he can't be in the main event for the World Championship, But don't ask for too much because, you might get too little back in return. And I think that with them doing more so like a match where, okay, instead of, us building our pay-per-view around Shelley and Ospreay, let's include this to be like, another feature match on the card. That's not the main event, obviously, but it's gonna be a reason to really tune in. It's another reason for you to want to buy the pay-per-view, because we all know, despite it, like Mike Bailey might seem a little like bland, on the outside before the bell rings, or he seems a little regular. When the bell rings, Mike Bailey can go crazy, and they did tonight. Absolute moment. It was just nonstop. From start to finish. They were on the outside, they were on the inside, they were on the top rope, they were going through the ropes, they were going over the ropes. They had ground wrestling. You saw it all. With these two, you saw everything going on. And also, what was really great was that there were times in the match where they really were parallel with each other. Like, they really were the same person. It really was like damn near like a mirror match. And you didn't like, and they were both on the same page with the chain wrestling, with trying to counter each other's moves and everything. They were like just one after the other. I'm gonna get the best of you. 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 They really were like in that type of like tangent, and it got to a point because like there were like obviously there were near falls. You got to a point where you're like, the pin has to be accidental because we've seen everything already. You know what I mean? It was a phenomenal match. This was a match where it's like, if someone were to say, hey, what current match would you recommend for a non-wrestling fan? This will be the match right here. Will Ospreay against Mike Bailey, because this would make someone who does not even mess with wrestling whatsoever, wouldn't even look at it in its direction, make them want to like tune back in, because what we saw tonight was a clinic between these two. Yeah, I'm still bugging this, and that's the thing, is that Will Ospreay is just something else. He's something different. What we've seen him in terms of like, what he's done with AEW as well, what he's done in New Japan. Will Ospreay is one of those greats that are just out there making classics happen wherever he hits. So I highly recommend, if you are a casual wrestling fan, follow Will Ospreay. Check out his work on YouTube, and believe me, you will not be disappointed. But Will Ospreay got the victory over Mike Bailey in about 18 minutes, and it was sensational. The next match was a Call Your Shot Gauntlet match. This was really fun. This was a really, really fun match. And this came at the right time, coming after Ospreay and Bayley, because this is more of a match where like you didn't take it, you did not have to take it too seriously, and you just go with the flow. And it's like Impact was like, let us, like do our job. And so basically what it is, it's like a mix between the Royal Rumble. It's a mix between the Battle Royal that happened on Monday Night Raw back in September of 1994. It was where it's a 20-man Battle Royal, and the last two guys were in the ring. The last two guys in the ring had a match with each other. So it starts off as a two men are in the ring. The first 2 minutes, after 2 minutes, then the third man would come into the ring. And then every minute after that, a new man would enter into the ring until you had 20 people in the ring. And the way to eliminate your opponent is to throw them over the top rope. And the last two people in the ring would now be in a one-on-one match with each other. And the winner of that match will win the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. And this will allow them to call out any champion that they want. So then it becomes kind of like Money in the Bank in a way, like low key. So it's a lot of variables, within this match, but it does make sense. So like as you go through it, and this is really cool, man. Like the first two people in the match were Jake Something and Eddie Edwards. So they they went at it and all. And then Kenny King came out. I think he was number 3. And then that's when you started seeing like the wrestlers. Now, what was really cool about this was that it also had a sprinkle of the Royal Rumble where you have surprise entrances. So Juventud Guerrero came out as one of the participants. Big surprise, big pop for Juvi Juice. You know what I mean? The juice was loose. You know what I'm saying? So it was really dope seeing Juventud Guerrero. He came out. Johnny Swinger, he came back, so he made his return tonight as well too. So he came out. Sonny, you know what I'm talking about. Who was in AEW? Sonny Kiss came out. So that was a big surprise because, all the news that was going around about Sonny Kiss and how they were they were let go from AEW, and was it foul, was it fair, or whatever like that. So there was a lot of talk about that was happening around the wrestling interwebs. So Sonny Kiss came out, and it was really cool. And then Bully Ray came out, and then Sonny Kiss and Bully Ray kind of had like a standoff with each other. But then it was all fun. It was all fun because Sonny Kiss did their little, Sonny Kiss is like that and all that shit. And then Bully Ray, he started doing his old school Bubba Ray dance. You know what I mean? So we got a nice little. It was fun. It was a nice little comedy segment. And then the next one came out was freaking Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona came out. Holy shit, right? So Matt Cardona was out there. Eric Young came out. Jordan Grace came out as well too. So of course, your boy was happy as hell seeing Jordan Grace. And hell yeah, man! That was really dope. Jonathan Gresham came out as well too. So and we saw a little moment with Jonathan and Jordan, because immediately when Jonathan came out, I was like, okay, so Jordan's in the ring. His wife is in the ring. How that going to play out? You know what I mean? They're actually going to go at it. You know what I'm saying? Because this was unisex. So it was men and women both in the ring, and they were going off at each other. Brian Myers was in there as well too. Now Brian Myers, he shined tonight, low key, super low key. He was one of those, he was one of the wrestler of the nights. Seriously, he had 3 major eliminations tonight. One of them being Jake Something, right? So he really did. And he eliminated Eric Young and someone else as well too. Someone else that was significant. I think it was it Rich Swann. I think it was somebody significant. But Brian Myers did the damn thing tonight though. But he was double crossed by Matt Cardona because him and Cardona were going around and beating up on people and whatnot. So Cardona thought he got the best of him when he eliminated Brian Myers. And the final it was Matt Cardona, Jordan Grace, Bully Ray, and it was one of the knockouts. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Kylie, I believe it was. So Kylie got eliminated. Cardona got eliminated, and it was now Jordan Grace and Bully Ray. And now it's a one-on-one match, right? It's a one-on-one match now. And it's like, oh crap, that's wild. Like, we're really gonna get a one-on-one match with Jordan Grace and Bully Ray. You damn right we're gonna get it. And we got that. And it really was very reminiscent of just like, the David and Goliath story with Jordan Grace playing, very sizable difference when you look at the two next to each other and standing right in front of each other. So very sizable difference. And so Jordan Grace, pretty much chopped Bully down, and she got the pinfall victory when she did her finisher on Bully Ray, and that's a lot of strength. All that powerlifting that Jordan Grace has been doing, all the bodybuilding and everything like that, when it comes to her competitions, totally paid off in this match because she held her own strong, and she won the call your shot. She won the call your shot. Yeah. Oh, you talk about it was a Carissa. You talk about Sunny Kiss, right? Yeah, the Sunny Kiss debut was dope. It was really cool seeing that. Really happy for Sunny Kiss. But yeah, so Jordan Grace, she won the call your shot, and she immediately got on the mic and she called out she wants to meet the knockout champion at Hard to Kill in January. So whomever the knockout champion is, whether it be Trinity or it's Mickie James or anyone else, Jordan Grace will be waiting for you at Hard to Kill. All right, so we're gonna keep our eyes on that. And speaking of the knockout championship, the next match was for the knockout championship, and that was Trinity, who's the champion, defending the title against Mickie James. Very exciting match. Really great back and forth. Really great chemistry that was between the two. Lots of respect that was in the ring as well too. But Trinity got that victory by submission, and so she retained the belt. All right. Moose, he announced that he was going to do a cash-in with his briefcase that he won from Feast of Fire. He said that tonight did not go as planned, but as long as he has the case, he has the power, and he as well is calling out whomever the Impact World Champion is at Hard to Kill. That's going to be taking place this January. So Moose will be facing the Impact Champion. At this time, it is Alex Shelley, and we talked about that match earlier. It was an awesome match. That was the main event for the night, the World Championship with Alex Shelley defending the title against Josh Alexander. I thought Alexander was going to win back the belt, especially after when Moose announced that he was going to be facing the champion at Hard to Kill. I was like, okay, Josh Alexander makes a lot of sense because that's who Moose dropped the belt in the first place to. Now it's like a lot of redemption, the redemption angle. But Moose against Alex Shelley, I think it could be equally as really great if they keep the belt on Alex Shelley, which I think now they are. Like, if they gave Alex Shelley a Bound for Glory World Championship victory, then I think that they really do want to make sure they're investing significantly in Alex Shelley as being their world title, their world champion. He's a workhorse. He's been with the company forever. He's proven that he's a damn good singles wrestler, and he really is as well too. You don't necessarily just look at him as that Motor City Machine angle guy, Motor City Machine gun guy anymore. The way how you might have done when he first became a one-on-one singles wrestler after being in the tag team. I think both him and Chris Sabin have done a really great job when it comes to kind of like getting that off them. So that's not really there, that being the case anymore. You look at Alex Shelley as not only a solid singles wrestler, but you look at him as the world champion. And tonight, that statement was made very emphatically with the championship match, with him going over Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander, who's like, you guys have seen him, big ass dude, but I think that they really have said that we are going to make Shelley our guy. And I think it makes a lot of sense as well, too. Yo, what up, Clint? What up, bro? My man. What's good, bro? My guy. But I think it makes a lot of sense, too, especially with the rebranding that's happening right now, with it going back to being known as TNA. Then, yeah, why not have one of the TNA originals from the old days, who is the world champion, be now the TNA world champion? You know what I'm saying? like it's great that he is. Yeah, it's great that you're the Impact champion, but for Alex Shelley to be now known as a TNA World Heavyweight Champion, I think that like is for him personally weighs a little bit more than Impact World Champion does. You know what I mean? I think that that's a little bit more that's much more meaningful for him. You know what I mean? Because he was part of the company when it was TNA, right? Exactly. TNA, TNA, TNA. And man, I'm gonna tell you, bro. I'm gonna tell you, man. It felt good. It felt damn good. Chain that hard tonight, man. For real. Like that was like I was saying at the top of the hour. That was like the biggest pop of the night was the announcement of it going back to TNA. And that's when they showed the video after the main event match. And then while it was dark, all of like the roster came into the ring. Like Jordan Grace is in the ring. Obviously, Shelley was in the ring. Josh Alexander, Eric Young, Kazarian, Scott D'Amore, Chris Sabin. Lots of the old school guys were all out in the ring. And Scott D'Amore, he cut this very passionate promo about, how heartbreaking it was. Like, when, he was, obviously he was happy to see, like, what was being built. But he was like, there was always something was missing, even though like Impact was really great to us. And, this brand was like nothing but good things. But still there was something missing. And that what was missing was total nonstop action. And I gotta agree. I didn't really realize that it was missed. And until it was made clear to me that like this really was a missed entity of the brand. This past week, the last 10 days, I've been doing a countdown to mid-card mess of the top 10 Bound for Glory championship matches. And rewatching those old TNA pay-per-views, yeah, man, like it's just like, oh God, like it was an era that felt so good. It just felt good, that era was, man, for real. Like, I know it got a lot of criticism, but if there was an era that felt so good, like seeing TNA total nonstop action, hearing Don West, rest in peace to Don West, hearing Don West's voice, Mike Tenay's voice, and now it's an opportunity for the brand to kind of re-identify itself. In the capacity of we're not going to rely too much on like the gimmickry that we did before, but TNA now is going to be synonymous with some good ass professional wrestling, and I think that's going to be so what Dr. Order when it comes to what they're doing with this. So I'm excited about this. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do. In terms of like the brand rebuild. So I guess now it's no more Impact. I guess it's going to go back to TNA. Are you going to call it the weekly show TNA Impact again? Because that was where we even got the word from, was because of the name of the show every week was called Impact. So I'm not sure if the Thursday night shows are still going to be called what they're called, but maybe it's going to be called TNA Impact with the big ass exclamation point. I don't know. Who knows? But we're going to find out. But like I told you guys, I'm going to tomorrow. I'm going back to the stadium because they're going to be doing all the Impact tapings. And I'm going to tell you, when you go to the Impact taping, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a TV show they're taping. So it's a lot of guys like on good cameras who are like instructing you, get up. Get up, get up, get excited, get on TV. You have freaking the ring announcer. His name escapes me right now. I apologize. Him telling you, everybody get up, get on your feet, you want to get on TV and stuff. And so like it's one of those things where it's like, all right, man, like I gotta get up and like get wild and you go crazy for whomever's coming out and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? And then like you sit down. And then they tell you, and then the match is over with in like 4 minutes. Like, all right, get up again. You're like, oh, goddamn it. It's a lot of work. It's like going to church. When church tells you to get up. Now kneel. Now sit down. Now get up. Sit down. Kneel. Get up. Oh, man, it's fun, man. It's a lot of fun. Hell yeah, man. I got to agree with you, Clint, man. I got to agree with you. One time, this is back in like 2008, I think it was. I went to a TNA house show. That was it wasn't in Chicago. It was like down there by the Wisconsin borderline, and that was that was fun as hell, man, for real. Because I remember like we got to meet Jeff Hardy, we got to meet Christian Cage, we got to meet Abyss. You got to meet the wrestlers. I know, right? It's crazy, man. I mean, you got to meet the wrestlers, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to be able to like actually meet the wrestlers, and you got done seeing like, holy shit, like I got to take a picture with Jeff Hardy. Like, what the fuck? Like dude, you just on WrestleMania like a couple years ago. Like, holy shit, this is awesome. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So it was really great, man. It was really great. What's it say? It's surf. I just want to say this, all of the hates from WWE and some AEW fans, y'all always said our men's and women's is the top level. Well, I surely disagree that a lot of dream matches people want against Impact wrestlers. Yeah. No. Yeah, and I'm with you. I'm with you. That's the thing is that like, and that's what I was talking about earlier, is that with Impact, you're going to get nothing but great wrestling with Impact Wrestling. With now TNA, you're going to get nothing but great wrestling. That's where I find my comfort zone with Impact now TNA, is that when I just want to watch just some good straight wrestling, you know, no frills, no BS, I go to them. I remember Slammiversary 2020 during the pandemic. This was hands down the best wrestling pay-per-view of the year. It really was the best wrestling pay-per-view of 2020. Watch that pay-per-view. That pay-per-view, obviously, it was in an empty arena. We're in the middle of the pandemic. I think it was in March. I'm sorry, April or May of 2020. I think it was like May of 2020, and we got the best wrestling action that we saw all year. It was no nonsense, really great wrestling. And yeah, so yeah, when you watch them, you're gonna get quality from them in terms of like what's on the mat. And they deliver every week as well, too. Every week. Devon threw the water on me for taking this picture at him, as him and Anderson entered from the crowd. This was the Aces and Eights time, and it was so awesome. I can see that too, man. You talk about Bully Ray's best friend. Oh, he would definitely do that. He would definitely throw his shit at you, man. And he probably look at you like, he think he can take me? Oh, okay, I got you, man. I got your picture, motherfucker. But hell yeah, man. But yeah, now we're all saying you've been watching since the low key. Hell yeah. Oh man, dude, I remember that was a big deal too when he signed with TNA. I remember that was a really great deal. When you see Trey Miguel, people always say, "Oh my God, him against Ricochet will be amazing." You do. I have seen that a lot too, as well. I think because like they're similar statures, and their styles are pretty parallel. And he did the damn thing tonight too. He's super charismatic. When he was on the ring apron, he was talking mad shit to the audience. He was funny as hell, man. But I like him. Mike Speedball is another who wants to see against Brian. Man, can you imagine him and Danielson? Holy crap, bro! That, especially considering what we saw tonight with Speedball and Ospreay. Man, like my level for Speedball went up significantly after that match, and yeah, Speedball and Danielson would be sick. That would be nuts, man. I would love to see that match for real. And who knows? Maybe we'll see it. You know, the way how pro wrestling has been going when it comes to just like the way how the deals have been going along, and you're seeing a lot more partnerships happen now versus what you saw like 20, 30 years ago. Like you didn't really see partnerships like what we've been seeing emerge. Though we never saw that before. Like the announcement with CMLL and AEW. Are now in the partnership. That's really cool because we're gonna like now it just expands more so to their Forbidden Door pay-per-view that they do every year. You know what I mean? Kenta versus Danielson versus Speedball versus Yuta. That'll be, man. Now you're just asking for C4 explosions and dynamite and friggin' like like nuclear bombs going off. You asking for the destruction of the world right now with all that high power energy. But that would be awesome, man. You talk about the dream match. That's it right there and everything. So that's without question. All right, but look, I'm about to get out of here, guys. I'm about to knock out. I had a long ass day today. My dogs woke me up at like damn 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, dude, it is Saturday morning, but they were, I don't care. I want to go outside. I got to handle my business. Get up. It's 6 a.m. Get up. It's technically late now. Get up. So I've been rocking and rolling since then and everything. But Bound for Glory was a really great pay-per-view, guys. When it gets available, please check it out. If you only see one match, I highly recommend you watching Ospreay and Speedball, Mike Bailey. This was a wrestling classic. This was one of the most best things I've seen all year, and it really is going to go to my my top 10 of the year in terms of matches. So I will be putting that together later on as well too. The next episode of the 23rd hour I'm going to be doing will be next month with AEW. Damn, why can I not remember the name of the damn pay-per-view right now? Oh my God, I'm drawing a freaking blank. I think it's because it's almost like 1 a.m. right now. But somebody out there help me out. Whatever the next AEW pay-per-view is, I just know that we're going to be seeing MJF going up against we're going to be seeing him up against you can tell I am really tired right now because I cannot remember shit right now. But Jay White going up against Jay White for the AEW Championship. So that's going to be really amazing seeing that. I can't wait. So the next episode is going to be for that pay-per-view. And also we're going to be covering Survivor Series as well, too, for WWE at the end of September. That's okay. This is how you know it's time for me to go. I'm over here talking about September, saying it's September next month. It's a problem. I swear to God, man. I think I'm gonna bring this show back to doing it the morning so we can have coffee together instead of damn near like passing out. But anyway, love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the 23rd hour. I am Maurice Proffit, and I'm gonna see y'all next time. We out. Peace.